A silent movement for positive transformation of the planet and its people is underway.
It has spread to 160 countries and touched over 4 million people, 25,000 schools and 2,500 colleges.
This movement has led to over 2 million trees being planted,
1.7 million young people being engaged in value-based projects,
and over 100,000 children undergoing cognitive development training.
Over 55,000 grassroots workers have been trained to spread health and education awareness across India.
Heartfulness is the name of this movement,
And it has been driven by the dedication of volunteers
support of government institutions,
and the generosity of corporate partners.
Transformation is natural, but it can be aided by a catalyst. Heartfulness endeavors to be the transformational catalyst that the world needs. Through initiatives in the fields of environment, education, wellness, and sports, Heartfulness constantly strives to effect positive change.
Kanha Shanti Vanam, the International Center of Heartfulness near Hyderabad in India, is a prime example of the possibilities when there is a will to bring about change for good. Volunteers from around the world have transformed 1,200 acres of barren land into a lush, green ecosystem brimming with biodiversity. In this campus, you will find large-scale tree plantations, gardens, dense mini rainforests, sewage treatment plants, waste management processes, solar power generation, and rainwater being harvested to create large water bodies. The Forests by Heartfulness Initiative, or FBH, endeavors to replicate the success realized at Kanha Shanti Vanam across the country. FBH has so far undertaken several forestation, lake restoration, and agroforestry projects in association with government organizations as well as corporations. Experts customize plantation and water conservation solutions at each FBH site. Special emphasis is being given to conserving endangered tree species. As Kamlesh D. Patel, the president of Heartfulness, often emphasizes, we must all come together to leave the world a better place than we found it.
For over 3 decades, Heartfulness has been running courses especially built around value education and conscious living in schools across the country. The curriculums are closely aligned with the 9 principles of the UNESCO Chair, Global Health and Education. The Heartful Campus Initiative works with colleges to develop life skills and a strong sense of universal human values in the youth. Heartfulness collaborates with AIMS, AICTE, ICAR, and other leading institutions across the country to introduce relaxation, stress management techniques, and life skills to youth who are about to join the workforce.
A tele-counseling helpline called Voice That Cares offers free support to anyone suffering from mental health problems like anxiety, depression, sleep issues, and addictions. Heartfulness provides special training in best practices to grassroots health, social, and education workers who can then implement these in their respective blocks and villages. The well-equipped Medical Center at Kanha Shanti Vanam caters to the medical needs of over 70 surrounding villages. Heartfulness also offers preventive and curative treatments based on various knowledge systems, including yoga and Ayurveda. About 15,000 Heartfulness volunteer trainers spread across the world offer meditation training free of cost.
Sports encourage health, self-confidence, and leadership skills. The state-of-the-art Heartfulness International Sports Center at Kanha Shanti Vanam seeks to provide quality training to young people interested in sports. Heartfulness is now embarking upon a project to reforest 2,000 acres of degraded forest land in Shivgarh, Madhya Pradesh.
Also underway is the reforestation of the Aravalli Mountains running 750 kilometers across 3 states.
A 105-acre city forest is being developed to serve as an oxygen bank for the city of Ratlam.
In education, Heartfulness is collaborating with the government of Madhya Pradesh to implement the value-based curriculum in over 500 government schools.
In the sports sector, Heartfulness is supporting the Pan-India Talent Hunt, a part of the Khelo India initiative.
Heartfulness has a dedicated team of volunteers. However, all this also needs resources.
Together, we can help strengthen this movement.
Together, we can touch lives and transform the planet.
Together, we can be the catalyst for positive change.
Our honor to invite onto the dais respected His Excellency Baba Jain Ji from the World Council of Religious Leaders, Nilakshi Rajkhowa Ji from the Baha'i Faith, Peer Zia Inayat Khan from the Inayati Order. We respectfully invite Jyotendra M. Dave Ji from BAPS. We invite Venerable Geshe Dorje Damdul Ji from the Tibet House. We invite Dr. Joseph Bentel Howell from the Institute for Conscious Being, Shri Dilshah Singh Anand Ji from the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, Shri Satbir Singh Khalsa Ji from the Harvard Medical College. I respectfully invite Reverend Yvonne McRosty from Australia. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Tony Nader from the Transcendental Meditation. We invite Atmarpit Vidhi Ji from Shrimad Raj Chandra Mission, Dr. Bhavani Rao from the Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. It is an honor to invite to the dais Master Ji from God Home Journey, Master Minood from the Temple of Inner Consciousness. We respectfully invite these gurus and our respected guests to please occupy their spaces on the dais. It is a poignant moment indeed, as this grand event, the historic landmark event, to a close today. We once again invite the dignitaries to grace the stage, to grace the dais with their august presence. We request Dr. Tony Nader from Transcendental Meditation to please come to the dais and occupy his place. We request Dr. Bhavani Rao.
We're looking for Maharaja, he's not yet here, he's coming.
We invite all the respected dignitaries to please come to the dais as we are shortly about to commence with the concluding session of the Global Spirituality Mahotsav. This event has been truly a Mahotsav, a mega celebration of the oneness and unity among all faiths, religions, and spiritual paths. We are all blessed to have been a part of this historic event. If one could put it this way, it has been a remarkable melting pot of cultures and faiths. As each one of us has realized, it is yet just the beginning. It would be our privilege to invite our respected dignitaries to come to the stage and occupy their places. We have the respected presence of Brother Raja Louis representing Transcendental Meditation. We welcome him to the dais. We respectfully invite Satbir Singh Khalsa ji, Dr. Joseph Bentel Howell, and Dr. Bhavani Rao to please come and occupy your place on the dais. It has been a truly moving experience for each one of us present here, even for those hearts that have joined us virtually from across the globe, watching the proceedings live from the plenary sessions as well as the wisdom sessions. Each one of us has come back to us to share that it has been a privilege for each one to be a part of this grand global spirituality Mahotsav. Many hearts have been touched, many more opened, and this wave will soon turn into an ocean. It is time for each one of us to commit to holding this vision of a world based on peace, inner peace to global peace. We await the august presence of the Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji and Revered Daji to come and formally begin this concluding session. While we await their presence here in the hall, let us just connect to ourselves and prepare for the meditation that will be the start of this session. For those who would like to know how to meditate in the session that will follow, I would like to share this simple method of meditation that we will practice in a short while from now. We sit comfortably with our eyes gently closed and bringing our attention to the heart. We sit with the prayerful idea that the Divine Presence is already there in the heart, like a luminous divine light. We sit with the idea and without any effort to concentrate or focus, we simply humbly wait for that experience. If the attention drifts and we find ourselves in the midst of thoughts, we simply let them be, gently bringing our attention back to the heart, reminding ourselves that we are meditating on the presence of the divine light in the heart. This is the simple path that we will all follow in the next few minutes when we will begin meditation, led by the global guide of heartfulness, Revered Daji. We could all connect to our hearts. They say that the Lord waits for a heart that is willing and open and longing. We have the august presence President is here. Let us respectfully welcome him with a big round of applause. Mahotsav has been truly a remarkable melting pot of faiths and paths. As each one of us has realized, this is only the beginning. This beginning is the moment that is the harbinger of a new world based on peace and harmony. For this vision to manifest, it needs the prayers of every individual who truly believes in it. When we will prayerfully hold this intention with purity of heart and clarity of mind and purpose, it will come true. Let us now all together join with a prayerful heart to meditate and pray that this vision of inner peace to global peace may manifest very soon. So let us all now prepare ourselves to meditate with the meditation that will be led by the global guide of heartfulness, Revered Daji. Meditate. This meditation is being led by Vandana Kothari, who will begin the meditation. So let us all sit comfortably and gently and move through a short relaxation leading directly to meditation. Breaths in and relax. The feet, prayerfully inviting the healing energy from Mother Earth to enter the body, healing to every part it moves through. Both feet, upwards, relaxing the lower legs. Body is now relaxed. In the back, energy, relaxing the lower back and upper back. with our eyes closed to absorb this feeling. Outwards, us. In our eyes. To the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankarji, for his august presence at the Global Spirituality Mahotsav. We are also deeply grateful to all the respected leaders of so many religious, interfaith, and spiritual organizations who have graced this event with their open-hearted presence. It is now time for a lovely surprise for all of us. I now invite Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, Secretary General Commonwealth, to come forward to make this very special announcement for all of us.
Your Excellency, Vice President Sri Jagdeep, distinguished guests, partners, colleagues, friends, my heartfelt greetings to you all. It is a genuine honor to return to this magnificent place. Vision, ingenuity, and labor has transformed what was once harsh and depleted lands into a lush green campus with rainforests full of thriving endemic and endangered species, medicinal and edible plants, and organic farms. This site has become a testament to harmony with nature. Every step one takes through the Yatra garden and these hallowed halls is an encounter with tranquility and renewal. We stand today in the physical representation of the heartfulness you have been practicing and sharing for so many years. And as we gather here in the month before the 125th birthday of Babakul's, it is a fitting monument to his lasting legacy. But the imprint of his life of humble service, devotion, and love is unmistakable. It echoes in the demeanor of everyone present here, and it is reflected constantly in the vision and leadership offered by our dear friend and brother, Daji, who has once again welcomed us so gracefully to this wonderful place. The Commonwealth is a family, and we are 56 nations and 2.5 billion people, stretched across 5 continents and 6 oceans, and our collective heart beats with the shared values of peace, understanding, and mutual respect. Daji, as the guiding force behind heartfulness, you embody these values. Your wisdom, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the spiritual well-being of humanity shines through you and through this movement. Your leadership has nurtured the growth of heartfulness, and in doing so, you have touched the lives of countless people across the globe, across 160 countries and more than 5 million practitioners, with the dedicated support of 16,000 volunteer trainers operating in over 5,000 centers worldwide. Your impact extends far and wide. Heartfulness has become a global force for inner transformation, creating ripples which transcend continents and cultures, sowing seeds of mindfulness, compassion, and spiritual well-being across the world. Your teachings resonate deeply, offering a pathway to peace and self-discovery. And your approach to meditation and spirituality is both profound and accessible, guiding seekers on a journey towards a harmonious existence. This vision has cultivated a heartfulness community centered around love, unity, and mindfulness, offering solace and spiritual nourishment to seekers from diverse backgrounds in an increasingly chaotic world. Your unwavering commitment to service, coupled with your profound understanding of the human heart, creates a legacy of grace, humility, inspiration, and boundless compassion. In our lives, we all try to create and send out our own positive ripples of change. The ripples you have created are vast and lasting. They can build a current which can sweep down even the mightiest walls of resistance and provide us all with constant inspiration. In your honor and in honor of your vision and leadership and of your unwavering commitment to service, as Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations, I am proud and honored to bestow on you the title of Global Ambassador for Peace Building and Faith in the Commonwealth.
With all our hearts, respected Commonwealth Secretary General, for this great honor that has been bestowed upon revered Daji, I now invite Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankarji, to say a few words on this august occasion.
it was not a surprise. Well-deserved recognition from the right quarter. Congratulations to Daji. India is 60% of Commonwealth in terms of population. In terms of knowledge and wisdom, I leave it to your discretion. Friends, Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, Secretary General, Commonwealth, I have had earlier an occasion to interact with her. She is passionate about her mission. She is highly objective. This has been reflected today. Every word is spoken by her about Daji is a writing on the wall. There was a time when iconic status was granted on parameters that are baffling, beyond any rational, but now times have changed. Our civilian awards that are conferred are based on objective parameters. There is recognition of those who need to be recognized. These are driven no longer by event management or patronage. It was a gratifying moment when Daji received a very high civilian award of Government of India, Padam Bhushan. But the greatest award, people, Daji, who made Mahatma Gandhi Mahatma? Daji Subhash Chandra Neta, people of this country. Millions and millions of people are inspired in most pristine and authentic manner, driven by the thought process which emanates from this epicenter. I therefore congratulate the Secretary General for being very thoughtful. Madam Secretary General, this is a step in the right direction. A step taken at a time when the world is engulfed by conflagrations. We are looking for solutions. Solutions will emanate from here. Friends, this is a pleasant surprise to me, more than the surprise I had when I was nominated Vice President candidate. Thank you so much.
We thank with all our heart the Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankarji for his kind words. We thank him for his presence, for having graced the Global Spirituality Mahotsav and for having guided us with his words. I now invite Revered Daji to please address all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Vice President of India, dear Jagdeep Dhankarji, Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, Secretary General, Commonwealth, and many leaders of various paths, interfaith, religious, spiritual, and my very dear brothers and sisters. My heart and head bows to all of you with gratitude. This award is not personal. Could I have attained, or could this organization would have been recognized without you all? I don't think so. So this award, it belongs to Heartfulness. And to the guiding force behind all this, the hierarchy of masters. So far we have been treading alone with this global spiritual Mahotsav. Many of the spiritual leaders, including Maharishis, Transcendental Meditation, TM, headed by Maharaja and multiple Rajas in this organization, Brahmakumaris, to name the few. There's a whole list of almost 300 spiritual organizations. Imagine if one organization can do, and all coming together, each organization having ocean of abhyasis coming together, what we can all achieve together. It will be a wonderful moment to witness each one in harmony, interacting with love, respect, trust, honor. The world will change. Gods and angels from above will love to descend on this planet and say, look at this humanity, they have created heaven. Is it too much? I don't think so. It's very easy, provided we want to have it. Just little interest. Very simple little interest is required. Close your eyes only for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, center yourself, invoke God's grace, and see what all He can do through us. We pray with all hearts, may this land, may this Mother Earth really become a heaven. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot end this without thanking Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, Secretary General, Commonwealth. Thank you, and whatsoever you like to do in your territories, do us summon. We are ready, isn't it? Thank you. Thank you.
To have Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankar among us. Let us thank him with all our hearts for having been here with us. And it is now time to respectfully say bye to our Honorable Vice President. Let us give him a huge round of applause. We now continue with the morning session. How could a congregation of so many open, loving hearts, each heart waiting and wishing for peace, how could this congregation be complete without some music that stirs the heart? It is now time for a heartfelt musical rendition by Brother Charanji. I now invite him to come forward with his daughter and grace all of us with some soulful music.
एक हल्का सा बादल बन जाए, ग्लोबल स्पिरिचुअलिटी महोत्सव में शामिल सभी बहनों और भाइयों का मैं हार्दिक तौर पे धन्यवाद करता हूँ। सभी गुरुजनों का, संतजनों का, सभी संस्थाओं का हार्टफुलनेस की तरफ से धन्यवाद करता हूँ। जिन्हें हम देख सकते हैं उनका भी धन्यवाद, जिन्हें हम नहीं देख सकते हार्दिक तौर पे उनका भी धन्यवाद। और ये स्पेशल भजन विस्पर्स फ्रॉम द ब्राइटर वर्ल्ड के मैसेज से इंस्पायर होके जो मालिक की कृपा से मेरे हृदय में आया, मदर हेलेन पेरेट बाबूजी महाराज से बात करते कहती हैं कि मुझे ऐसा फील होता है कि मैं हल्के से बादल की तरह हो गई हूँ और मैं उड़ती जा रही हूँ। और ये भजन लिखे हुए, बनाए हुए मुझे 3-4 साल हो गए, पर आज गुरुदेव के सामने, आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करने का मौका मिला है। मैं इसे आरंभ करता हूँ। एक हल्का सा बादल बन जाए, 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 तेरी हवा मिलते उड़ जाए, तेरी हवा मिलते उड़ जाए, कैसे भी हो रास्ते पर रुकना नहीं है, कैसे भी हो रास्ते पर रुकना नहीं है, मुश्किलें तो आती हैं पर झुकना नहीं है, एक ना एक दिन तो मंजिल पाए, बस हल्के हल्के होते जाए, एक ना एक दिन तो मंजिल पाए, बस हल्के हल्के होते जाए, आसमानों में संग तेरे ही यूं ही लहराए, आसमानों में संग तेरे ही यूं ही लहराए, तू जो कहे तो खुद ही बरस कर खुद को मिटा दे, बस एक सपना हम तुझसे हो जाए, हम तुझ में बस तुझ में लय हो जाए, बस एक सपना हम तुझसे हो जाए, हम तुझ में बस तुझ में लय हो जाए, लय हो जाए, लय हो जाए, लय बस एक सपना हम तुझसे हो जाए, हम तुझ में बस तुझ में लय हो जाए, लय हो जाए, लय हो जाए। आओ हम सब उस परमात्मा की तरह प्रेम हो जाएं, हम सब एक हो जाएं और उस एक में समा जाएं। मैं अगला भजन आपके सम्मुख रखता हूं। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। वो अपने सीने में हर एक का दर्द रखते हैं। वो अपने सीने में हर एक का दर्द रखते हैं। बेखबर बन के मेरे साहब, बेखबर बन के मेरे साहब सबकी खबर रखते हैं। बेखबर बन के मेरे साहब सबकी खबर रखते हैं। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। जमीन पे खड़े जमीन पे खड़े आसमां पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। जमीन पे खड़े आसमां पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। हमें जो न सूझे सुझाया वो तुमने। हमें जो न सूझे सुझाया वो तुमने। बना जो न हमसे बनाया वो तुमने। मरुस्थल में हमने मरुस्थल में हमने चमन पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। अंधेरा मिटा कर प्रकाशित किया मन। अंधेरा मिटा कर प्रकाशित किया मन। भ्रमों को मिटाया किया धन्य जीवन। अमावस में भी अमावस में भी चंद्रमा पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। हमें अपने जैसा प्रेमी बनाकर हमें अपने जैसा प्रेमी बनाकर हृदय में ही रखना अपने छिपाकर। तुम्हें जो है पाया तुम्हें जो है पाया सारा जहां पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है। गुरु तेरे चरणों स्वर्ग पा लिया है, जमीन पे खड़े आसमां पा लिया है, गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है, गुरु तेरे चरणों में स्वर्ग पा लिया है, गुरु तेरे चरणों में। थैंक यू मास्टर। ओम तत्सत।
Thank you, Brother Charanji. We now respectfully request all our dignitaries seated on the stage to please proceed down and occupy the chairs in front of the stage. We thank you for your presence on the dais. We will now be moving towards the plenary session for today. We request all our brothers and sisters to continue to be with us. There is inspiring wisdom to be gained from all respected leaders of different organizations. There is much to learn, and as we say, the journey of learning is endless. So we request everyone to continue with their presence here with us. Interacted with many of the brothers and sisters who have come for the World Spirituality Mahotsav. There was one common thread among each experience that was shared. Everyone felt an overwhelming warmth in the heart. It goes to say that when hearts are open and each individual has the common purpose of peace, from inner peace to global peace, this was bound to happen. Even as we sit here, we feel this incredible sense of peace wash over us. What remains for us to do is to go back from here, nurturing this feeling of peace within the heart, with a simple resolve to continue to work towards this intention for which so many people have gathered from all over the world. We now move to the plenary session for today, and it is my honor and privilege to invite onto the dais His Excellency Jain Ji, Secretary General, World Council of Religious Leaders. We also invite Dr. Roland McCratty from the HeartMath Institute. We respectfully invite Master Minood Ji from the Temple of Inner Wisdom. Dr. Joseph Benton Howell from the Institute for Conscious Being. We invite Ms. Nilakshi Raj Khowaji from the Baha'i Faith. It is also an honor to invite Rabbi Ezekiel Isaac Malekar from the Judah Hayam Synagogue. We invite Ms. Sophia Bentowns, the Sufi guide of the Alawiya. in the Vedas, learners moving together on the journey towards the source that lies within. And as the Vedas say, may noble thoughts come to me from every side. And each and every of these plenary sessions is that opportunity for all of us to allow these noble thoughts to go within us. Presence of the speakers for today's plenary session. Let us all take a moment to also make our notes that will help us carry this wisdom forward to the centers, to the places from which all of us have gathered here at the Global Spirituality Mahotsav. I start? Let us now begin with the plenary session for today. This interfaith dialogue serves to give us further direction on how to proceed from inner peace to global peace. It is our absolute privilege to now invite to the podium His Excellency Baba Jainji. He is the Secretary General for the World Council of Religious Leaders. Having presided at the 2000 Millennium World Peace Summit of Religious and Spiritual Leaders, His Excellency Baba Jainji co-founded the religious initiative of the World Economic Forum. He is also the founder of the Gandhi King Award for Nonviolence. He launched the World Council of Religious Leaders Religion One-on-One Initiative. We are grateful for his presence and now invite His Excellency Baba Jainji to share his thoughts and vision with us.
Good morning. I guess nobody feels this is a good morning. I don't get any response. Good morning. Now I see everybody is here. I didn't expect to speak now, even though I was invited as a keynote speaker, but I think I was communicating to you more in silence than by words, because I think silence is the language of the heart. But they asked me to say a few words before I depart, and I just want to share a couple of things. I will have more of a conversation with you, and I just want to begin because Daji is not here. My brothers and sisters, as I see the way you all greet each other, what a lovely way. I want to ask anybody, maybe on the dais or here, what is the greatest blessing that you can receive in your life? Any volunteers? Anybody want to venture what's the greatest blessing you can receive in your life? Having a guru in your life. Now, why is that important? Oftentimes in life we will come to crossroads. The more crossroads you come to, the more you will build your character to see which path to take. And don't be afraid to fail, because it is through failures that our core character is built. But when you have a guru in your life, that guru will point you in the direction which will be for your betterment. So you are blessed to have a guru like Daji in your life. I did not know Daji before. I came and I met him only on the 14th when I arrived. And I was asked to come and have lunch with him. I was very honored with a few other friends. And Daji spent 2-3 hours with us. I didn't feel like that I was meeting him for the first time. And we spent some time. And the last 2 days, if you heard Daji make a mention of me and a quote, the full quote of Kofi Annan really at the United Nations at the Millennium Summit, which I was honored to serve as Secretary General for, was the problem oftentimes is not the faith, but the faithful. What do we mean by that? What did the Secretary General mean by that? He meant that religion is not at fault. Religion is not the problem. It's the people who abuse and misinterpret religion for their own interests. And you heard Daji, he mentioned that very clearly. Because he knows the value of that. For me, having a guru in my life gave me a purpose of life. Put me in a direction gave me a purpose and a direction of what I should be pursuing in life. You have a guru, but to ask you, do you have a purpose in life? Or ask yourself that, what is the purpose of my life? I'll leave you a few things only, because I have a limited time, I have to take a flight, and the dais is full. You've been enriched with many, many dialogues and speeches and messages. I'll just leave you three S's. One of them was given to me by Chinnajiri Swami yesterday, who I was honored to meet for a few hours. I always ask, what is the purpose of your life? So he turned the question to me, what is the purpose of your life? I said, the purpose of my life is service. I want to serve, serve and serve. And that service, I'll tell you one distinction my guru taught me. My guru always says, be of use. Remember, oftentimes people will tell you that they are just using me. His message was, be of use, but make a distinction. Don't let anybody abuse you. Make that distinction. Remember that. So service is the first principle. Second, sharing. Have that attitude of sharing. Wherever you can share, share, share. Because the greatest joy is in sharing, not in just receiving. The third, which is intrinsic to the Hindu ethos and the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, is sacrifice. Life is about compromises. The reality we live in is sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Why? For the betterment of one's own self. To detach from one of our biggest enemies. And I would have asked the Honorable Patricia Scotland this, because I'm a buff of the English literature. I'm telling you now, getting into the stage of which are the biggest obstacles in our life. And I was supposed to make the address on the 15th, and I was going to tell you, does anybody remember the significance of the 15th of March? You remember, Honorable Patricia Scotland? The Ides of March. I'm a Shakespeare buff. I won the literature prize in my school. And why do I want to remind you of the Ides of March? It was a soothsayer who had told Julius Caesar that beware the Ides of March. Ides of March came, Julius Caesar marching, and he looks at this soothsayer and he scorns at him. He says, Ides of March have come, I'm here, nothing happened to me. And what does the soothsayer say? Hey Caesar, they've come but not gone. It's coming out. Now why do I remind you that? Here is an example of the ego of a person getting in their way. Julius Caesar was arrogant, was full of ego, and he mocked the soothsayer. Our greatest challenge in life is overcoming that inner ego, the inner demon, which oftentimes influences our decisions and puts us in the wrong way. So coming here, and I mean, if you've seen, I think really, Daji is real to me, he's humility personified. I've been watching him, and I feel, and I'm seeing that he is so uncomfortable when speaking, he would much rather close his eyes and be in silence. If you see even on the stage, when people are speaking, oftentimes I observed, he's in meditation. He wants to be in silence. He doesn't want to speak. So remember, the more the urge we have for projecting ourselves, the ego which drives us, the more obstacles we will receive in our life. Shed that ego. When you come from here and you've learned from here, you've been blessed with the meditation and the power and the energy that you're receiving, leave your egos here, don't take them with you wherever you go. Follow the path of service, of sharing, of sacrifice. Your lives will be transformed. Make an impact in the world which generations to come will remember. That should be the motto and purpose of your life. I'll end by giving you a little example, and this is also a true story. Maybe a couple of them actually. I was in South Africa. As was mentioned, I gave President Mandela the Gandhi King Award for Non-Violence. Now at that time, Madiba, as he is referred to, has become like the moral conscience of the world. Now in my position, I have met almost every head of state. I've been with all of them. But that day, as I was going to meet President Mandela, and it was not in any VIP room like the one behind the stage. It was a stadium and we were standing under the bleachers. That's where Madiba preferred to meet us. So I'm thinking, what am I going to say to the President Mandela when I see him? Thoughts are racing because this is a unique opportunity. One of the greatest leaders who transformed their lives from being a militant and a commander to a non-violence, peaceful resistance for the freedom and liberation of South Africa from apartheid. And I'm going to meet him and I said, what should I be saying to him? So what does he do? Suddenly he emerges. He's a larger man. He just embraces me. Hey man, how are you? I am rarely at a loss of words, but that day I was dumbfounded. I couldn't speak a word. He disarmed me in that moment. Why am I sharing this with you? One of the greatest qualities of a leader is their innate ability to put you at ease. Have you seen somebody else do that in your lives? Look at Daji, right? He puts you at ease. I met him for the first time. He made me feel as if I'd known him for the rest of my life. All the way. So this is a unique ability. And remember, a great leader, what does he do? I was going to give you an answer, but let me ask you, great leader, what does he do? Anybody? What do you think a great leader does? Love. He says love. A great leader does not build followers. A great leader builds leaders. Each one of you is a leader because Daji has sown the seeds of leadership in each of your hearts. Take that away. Take that message. Let that be your guiding North Pole star. Follow that. Be of service. Continue to serve, and serve. And you will be so enriched because of the purpose in your life that any sickness, any obstacle, they will just vanish. They will fall away. And when you leave the world, you will be remembered for this. And this can be best understood by the life of Alfred Nobel. I'm sure you all have heard about Nobel and the Nobel Prizes. One day, Alfred Nobel wakes up and by mistake they had published his obituary. This was long before the Nobel Prizes was founded. And in the obituary, when he read that he was known for all the weapons he had created, dynamite and everything, he was aghast. He's saying, oh my God, this is what I'm going to be remembered for? That's not what I want my life to be. He said, I want to change that destiny. Then he launched the Nobel Prizes. Today, how do we remember Alfred Nobel? Because of the Nobel Prizes, the epitome of what we want to accomplish in our lives. So I share that with you. As if this was the last day of your life and you were going to go tomorrow, how would you want to be remembered? If you're happy, wonderful. If you're not, change those things and focus on what you will be leaving behind, because everything that you have gathered materially will be left here. What will remain is what good you have done, what you have served, what you have shared, what you have sacrificed. So be that good ambassador of the Heartfulness Institute as you go about doing your work in the world, and be somebody who people remember, yes, he came or yes, she came and they did something which we will remember forever. God bless you. भारत माता की जय, जय हिंद।
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Baba Jayanji. The 3 S's have been given to us by him: service, sharing, and sacrifice. Let us keep these key words with us as we go back from this event. It is now our pleasure to invite to the dais Dr. Roland McCratty. He is the Director of Research of the HeartMath Research Center at the HeartMath Institute. As a psychophysiologist, Dr. McCratty's research interests include the physiology of emotion, heart-brain communication, and the global interconnectivity between people and the Earth's energetic systems, applying this to the development of tools and technology to optimize individual and organizational health, performance, and the quality of life. We request Dr. Roland McCratty to share his ideas with us.
Thank you, and it's a great honor to be here and part of this event. And I'm not going to stand here and try to tell you anything that you haven't already heard or that you probably don't already know. But I am going to try and tell you the same thing in a different language, the language of science, which is my field. I'm as she said, the Director of Research for the HeartMath Institute. And I got to my path. I had been a long-term meditator myself, and we learned about the heart, in meditation. But if I'm really honest, it was more like a metaphor for emotions and this and that, but it was really all about the brain and this. And I even had gotten a degree in consciousness studies. And then I had the great fortune to meet the founder of HeartMath, Doc Childry. And then I was introduced to the real heart, the deeper heart that it's really all about. And I was fortunate to be able to help him found the HeartMath Institute. And a few years into that, he invited me to found the HeartMath Research Center. He said, we have to do real rigorous scientific research, because this is the new language for so many people in the world. It's the language of science. And if we're really going to help introduce the world to get in their hearts and brains in sync, we need that type of work. So over the last 30 years, I've had the great fortune to really make a lot of scientific discoveries that really validate, I think, what we already know and believe to be true. We started out by looking at how emotions affect the body, the physiology, and we're measuring brainwaves and hearts and all these things in the lab. And what we found was really profound, actually. And this is 30 years ago when we started this. And at that time, nobody was looking what happens in our body when we love, when we appreciate. It was all about stress and depression and anxiety. But what we found is when we brought people into the lab and they were able to really feel heartfelt feelings of love, compassion, kindness, something almost magical happened. The way the heart beat, the rhythms of the heart dramatically changed. We know many years later now that this is an optimal state, a state where the mind, emotions, the heart all come into synchronization. We call it heart coherence. A lot of you have probably heard that term. It's there are over 500 studies now that show that when people learn how to get into that heart coherent state, that it lifts, it benefits almost everything we can think of, our health, our performance in sports, for example, but especially our ability to access our own inner intuitive guidance. And we found that so many people were talking about us. Well, let me just say one other thing. The beautiful thing I think about heart and heart coherence is it's neutral. It's something that we all have. We all have a heart. And whenever we're actually feeling love or compassion or kindness, we are shifting into a heart coherent state, most likely. It doesn't matter how you get there, right? What technique, what practice you have. But it does increase the measurable synchronization between the rhythms of our brain and the rhythms of our heart. Now, as I mentioned, that is the big gift, I think, from that, I know from that, is our accessing to our intuition, our own intuitive inner guidance. And this is something we were actually able to test in the lab. And we were even surprised. I won't go into all the scientific details, but the takeaway from it is what we found from these studies is that the heart can know the future. And it starts in the heart. The heart is the first to get the information. It sends a different, measurably different signal to our brain. Then you have a brain response, you see that, and then you get a body response to felt emotion. So the way I got this published back in, many years ago in scientific peer-reviewed journals was to say that the heart has access to a field of information that's not bound by time and space. Well, what is that? Right? I would suggest that we have two hearts, what this research shows, the physical and what I call the energetic heart, which has been called the spiritual heart in so many religious traditions and philosophies. This just suggests, no, that's real. Right? And the energetic heart is that bridge. It's what connects the larger part of ourself, our soul, our spirit. It translates that down into the physical world of earth in our bodies. It's how we really connect with our larger self, our higher self. It's through the energetic heart. That's the real us. And as we learn to become more heart coherent, it opens that pathway. So in other words, becoming more heart coherent really can facilitate anything we do in any practice we want to take. Okay? The next adventure, I'll say, in our research was really starting to understand scientifically how the heart connects us. It connects us with others. Our heart doesn't just stop at the skin. We are literally broadcasting, radiating fields, magnetic fields produced by the heart. And we were able to show and find that that's carrying information about how we feel. And when we're in that coherent state, which again we get into naturally when we're loving, appreciative, that it connects us with others in a measurable way. Hearts can literally synchronize together when we come together in the heart. And that opens a new type of communication where we can really hear each other deeply. Even if we don't agree, we can still have that heart level connection. So it's really the key to how we build social coherence, how we learn to get along with each other in a new way, even though our minds might not disagree. Then the next kind of major step along that research path was understanding how our hearts not only connect us with our own larger self, but with others, but the earth itself. As it turns out, when we measure the heart coherent rhythms, it's a rhythm of about 10 seconds. We have new technologies that can measure this. It makes it very easy to practice, to know if we're in coherence, and to make that shift. But we started asking questions like, well, how do mothers know their children are in harm's way when they're on the other side of the planet? What's connecting this? There has to be something that's making that connection. One of the things that we found that can help answer that question is we all live within the magnetic fields of Earth, right? The North Pole, South Pole, right? The fields that we live in. Well, the amazing thing that we discovered by having these sites around the world that measure the energetic or the magnetic environment of Earth is that the fields vibrate. These magnetic field lines are plucked like guitar strings. And they vibrate at the same frequency of the coherent human heart rhythm. Okay, so when we're in that heart coherent state, through resonance principles, it connects us with the fields of Earth that we're all connected to. And what we're finding is the fields of the Earth that we all live in is what interconnect us not only with each other, but with nature, with trees, with animals, so that we're able to really, the heart really is what's connecting us across dimensions, with our larger self, with others, and with the Earth itself. So once we really understood that, then we said, well, how do we teach this to others? How do we make getting coherence easy? So we've developed a number of technologies that help us do that, that allow you very inexpensive technologies that allow you to see in real time your heart rhythm and how coherent it is. And these are, I'm thrilled to say, being introduced into many schools, these technologies, at least in the US and other countries, that are really allowing kids to learn this at a very early age. And I personally don't think there's any greater gift we could give our children than learning how to get our hearts and brains in sync early on, and we have that skill for life. Now, when we look at the global field that I'm talking about, we have new technologies where we can measure that. Again, I don't have time to go into it, but here's the takeaway. What we find is when we come together at events like this, or events, and we get into that coherent state, in other words, when we add love and compassion, and we intentionally radiate that into the field environment, the earth, the field environment, it's measurable. And love is by far the most powerful energy or frequency of bringing a type of coherence into the planetary field. We can measure this now. And I'm honored to say that the Heartfulness Institute is one of our partners in this project, and we have a lot of these devices right here, right now, measuring what we're doing to affect the field. So I hope this has been useful to share some science with you. But what does this all point to? My parting comments and invitation would be, it's time for love to go viral. Right? It's what's going to shift the frequency of the planet. It's what's going to lift our baseline of humanity into our next level of consciousness, where the heart and brain are truly in sync and a joint partnership. Thank you very much for the kind invitation to be here. Thank you all of you for your kind support. Take care.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rollin. It was a deeply insightful presentation. And it is amazing to see that something we have always known inside. Scientific research is now validating that the heart is the only part of us that has access to inner guidance and intuition. We now move towards another presentation. We invite Dr. Joseph Benton Howell, a clinical psychologist, a spiritual teacher, as well as an authority on the Enneagram. Dr. Howell is the founder of the Institute for Conscious Being, which teaches consciousness and spiritual development. He is the author of Becoming Conscious, The Enneagram's Forgotten Passageway. A new book to be released this year is also coming up, titled Know Your Soul. An absolute privilege to now be listening to Dr. Joseph Benton Howell.
What a privilege it is to have my heart coherent with your hearts. It is a privilege to be in another part of the world. It is a privilege to be in a society where I am greeted by namaste all the time. It warms my heart to be among you and to in some way claim that I too am an Indian. For a moment, if you will do this for me, if you will just gently close your eyes and picture in your mind's eye the home, the dwelling, the apartment, the house in which you spent the earliest parts of your life. Now look at that dwelling. You were 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, maybe 4. And as you look at it, Look at the windows and the doors. Look at the color of it. And now, look at where in those environs that you most played. Was it on the grass? Was it in a playground there? Was it in your private garden? Was it in a common area of an apartment house? And as you picture this in your mind, I would like for you to look at the little being who is you playing in those places. Look at that beautiful little child with expressive eyes and with excitement, with tenderness, with vulnerability, with awe, with surprise, and only two wishes: to love and to be loved. Hold me and let me hold you. This little child with those beautiful eyes is sitting in that playground or that yard or that garden, and it is full of hopes for what life is to be. And it radiates that hope. Sadly, that little child our soul child, has to go under a crust because the demands and harshness and woundings of this world will not allow that precious innocence to survive in all of its purity. And so, by age 5 or 6, sometimes 7, we have put on a layer of protection, and it has been called our ego. And we must have an ego. It gives us an image. It gives us a way to move through the world. It gives us protection from the wounds that our little vulnerable self could not bear. And as this child grows, the ego grows with it, with you and me. We became a defensive personality that we said to the world, you can't hurt me because I'm powerful, or because I am okay, or because I am right, or I'm giving. We decided what our strategy for our ego was going to be. And then by midlife, and for some of us much sooner, there's a shock point. And that shock point takes us into a land of pain and suffering. Because we realize that that ego never did have a way to successfully block us from pain, suffering, shame, anger, alienation. When we were teenagers, we were searching for an identity. And instead of going back to our soul child, we found our identities in groups. And now, so many are finding their identities in social media. What a false self that we are presenting for our children to embrace. So, what is it that we can be if we cannot be our ego? We can be our ego and continue to suffer. But who is it that we could be that brings hope again, that brings love again, that brings light again? And the answer is, it is our soul. And the soul now has a purpose and a meaning and a way, with the ego's help, to have it protected. Because the ego now can serve the purposes of the soul. So I'd like to tell you, how do we find the qualities of our soul again? Well, in my tradition, the great teacher Jesus Christ said, "You cannot enter the kingdom of heaven unless you become as a little child." And in my opinion, we have got to return to our own first identity, which is our true nature. And that's found in the little being you saw in that yard or playground just a few minutes ago. So right now, close your eyes again, and I'd like for you to picture that child one more time. Look into her or his eyes. See that purity, that beauty, that willingness to love and be loved. Now, feel the heart of that child. And now, if you will, go to that child and sit by them and put your arms around that little being and put your hearts together and let them beat in coherence. Join with your soul so that your life can face any shock point and do it with dignity and compassion and holy strength and holy faith. Thank you.
Very much, Dr. Howell. Thank you for reminding us that we cannot enter the kingdom of heaven until we become like little children with innocent hearts ourselves. It is now our privilege to invite, to present to all of us, Ms. Nilakshi Rajkhova, Director, Office of Public Affairs of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of India. Ms. Rajkhova has also served as the Director, Advancement of Women and Youth Affairs of the Office of the Public Affairs, Baha'is. Over to you, Ms. Rajkhova.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend heartfelt greetings on behalf of the Baha'i community of India to each one of you. I'm very delighted and honored to be part of this Global Spirituality Mahotsav hosted by Heartfulness and the Ministry of Culture. Thank you for bringing us all together under one roof. I would like to begin with a quote from the Baha'i writings. It says, "O Son of Spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart. The thine may be a sovereignty ancient, imperishable, and everlasting." I think it's all starting with our heart, and what heartfulness is trying to do is unlock the hearts of everyone so that we can embrace love, unity, compassion, and break our barriers of caste, religion, gender. I'm so happy to be part of this conference. Just wanted to share a few thoughts from the Baha'i community. Friends, we have seen that there are many factors that contributing to keeping India together as a nation. Few can deny that a vital cohesive force that binds the nation together is the spirituality of people. This spirituality finds expression in a culture that values human beings as the creation of the divine and is open and accepting of people of all backgrounds, that views in all living beings the reflections of the sacred and therefore enjoins respect, gentleness, and non-violence in all relationships as the ideal way of life. It is this spirit of an all-embracing oneness that is conveyed in the ancient ethos of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. This ethos implicitly envisages that the unity of the nations will be a stage in the process of the progressive manifestation of the spirit of oneness in the social and political realm. It reaches its fruition when the principle of the oneness of humankind is firmly established in the consciousness of people, and when India and its sister nations across the world unite as one family. Over the past few decades, there has been a worldwide resurgence of religious fundamentalism. Voices that represent religious extremism and intolerance have increasingly entered the political and social mainstream, and in many countries, they now dominate public discourse. This has created an atmosphere of confusion around the concept of religion, where its unifying and constructive role has been steadily obscured by the tendency to view it solely through an identity lens. India too has not become immune to it, and these challenges come at a time of a great uncertainty in world history, when the need for internal unity is vital to successfully navigate the waves of present and impending crisis that can gravely undermine the nation's progress, including the global pandemic, increasing geopolitical stability and war, economic recession, climate change, terrorism, and global food and energy crisis. The need of the hour then is for a constructive dialogue, a discourse involving leaders and representatives of all religions in India on the role of religion in contributing to social harmony. The ground for such a discourse must be laid by clarifying the fundamental nature and purpose of religion as a system of knowledge and practice, and common foundations of all religions. Such a discourse must show a practical path forward for inter-religious collaboration in contributing to the progress of our nation. Preserving these traditions of inter-religious fellowship and perpetuating them requires efforts from individuals, communities, religious leaders, and institutions of society as the media, education system, and the state. However, such efforts can close in on themselves if inter-religious unity is considered an end in itself and is not viewed in the context of society's needs at this moment in history. Unless united communities are driven by a common objective to contribute to the transformation of society and to ever-increasing material and spiritual prosperity, unity can become a pretext for passive conformity with the status quo, with all its attendant challenges and injustices. The most secure basis of interreligious harmony would thus lie in religious communities coming together to apply spiritual principles common to all religions for building a more united, just, and prosperous world. But friends, addressing the complex and unprecedented challenges of the 21st century will require the masses of humanity to make deep changes in their patterns of thought and behavior and willingness to make profound sacrifices for the common good. The kind of structural and systemic changes that are needed to become more just, united, and restore our balance with nature will require selfless efforts from the masses of humanity on a scale and for a duration never before witnessed. History bears witness that other than religion, no other power or man-made ideology has been capable of stirring the depths of human motivation and calling forth the spirit of nobility, sacrifice, and initiative needed to achieve such an objective. The world today is in dire need of the power of religion to once again course through the veins of a beleaguered humanity and to stir a common and collective response to humanity's challenges. Here we can see two protagonists who are playing a very important role. Religious leaders have a unique role to directing the attention of their congregation to the needs of the world. Many heartening examples of religious leaders coming together to rally on their congregations around the national drive to address common challenges could be witnessed during the worst phases of the COVID-19 pandemic in India. 25 religious leaders and representatives of Indian interfaith movements in India issued a joint statement to the followers of all religions in India to reiterate those principles common to all religions that have the greatest bearing on people's response to the crisis. The statement, which was issued as an initiative coordinated by the Baha'i community of India, called upon adherents of all religions to unite in a common commitment to 4 spiritual principles that have the most relevance to this crisis. And I think it's still relevance to these current challenges that we all are facing. Recognitions of the oneness of religion, the oneness of humankind, selfless and sacrificial service to the common good, and the complementary between science and religion. Although this was a modest effort, it illustrated the tremendous potential for positive social change that resided in the untapped spirituality of the masses, which faith leaders could come together and channelize for the well-being of all. Friends, another group of population where we are still trying to draw on their capacity and potentials are our youth. Youth, the Baha'i writing says that youth can move the world. The young people have a critical role to play in the field of development, peace, and prosperity of humanity. Young people want a better society no matter where they live. They tend to believe in the unity of people and be relatively unburdened by the biases and prejudices. They want peaceful and prosperous future for themselves and their peers. Let unity and harmony become our dominant narrative and become associated ever more strongly with the reputation and reality of Indian identity, relegating conflict and contention among the religions to an earlier and less mature stage of our history. Friends, let us harness an edifying power of religion towards constructive endeavors that can bring about the spiritual and material prosperity of our nation. In this way, India can truly lead the world morally and contribute to global peace and harmony, assuring its rightful place as a leader in spirituality and interreligious harmony. Thank you so much, and I'm so happy to be part of this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilakshi ji. It is true that it is time to restore balance with nature, and it would require efforts on a mammoth scale from each one of us. We would now like to invite to the dais Rabbi Ezekiel Isaac Malikar. Rabbi Ezekiel is a priest of the Judah Hayam Synagogue, the Jewish temple at New Delhi. He is the spiritual master of the Speaking Tree, Times of India, and a human rights activist, a recipient of the Doctor of Literature and the Mahavir Mahatma Award. He is the recipient of the Ambassador of Peace Award for promoting harmonious relations between the interfaith communities. A very well-known author, it is now our privilege to listen to Rabbi Ezekiel.
Namaste, Shalom. First of all, I would like to clarify that I am not here to represent any particular community. I am here to represent all my Indian brothers and sisters. Because we have been divided into caste and creed and religions, but we forgot. I always say, Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. The mother who gives you birth and the country where you are born are greater than the heaven. So I always say that I am an Indian first, मैं पहले भारतीय हूँ, then मैं यहूदी हूँ. India is my motherland. I learnt here, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Atiti Deva Bhava. And when the Prime Minister of Israel visited the synagogue, I was asked about my feelings for Israel and India. I said, Israel is in my heart, but India is in my blood. And to tell you that I'm here for the last 2 days, and whenever I go, because I'm from Delhi, whenever I'm outside, you know, not a single day passed, I did not talk to my wife and my daughter and son. But here, I'm here for the last 2 days, I completely forgot about my family, and because that hypnotizing effect of the spiritual vibration which I experience here in this very place, because I never felt homesick. And my special thanks, because you know there is a saying in Tibet that I saw an animal from the mountain, from the top of the mountain. When I went near to that animal, I saw that he is a human being. And when I start walking with him, I found my brother in him. So when I came here to this place, I found my brother, Mr. Jackie, Mr. Baruch here. Mr. Baruch, please stand up. And he has hosted me and his wife Alexandria, and you know this Nilakshi also, and we have been with him enjoying our trip. In fact, I was telling Nilakshi, why did we book our tickets for today's flight? Let us cancel. Let us go tomorrow, because this place is such a, you know, I'm telling you really from core of my heart, because as you know that Israel is surviving because of the trees. We have the festival called Tu B'Shivat. Every year we celebrate the festival of the trees, and that on this particular day in Israel, Israel's population is just 9 millions. At least 2 million people will go and they will plant a sapling. Here, you know, in my practice, whenever I attend anyone's respected, Daji was saying that Tulsi, that plant of Tulsi, Whenever I attended any auspicious occasion, whether it is a birthday party, it is a wedding anniversary, I always given them not in gift or cash or kind. I gave them the sapling of tulsi. I said, go and plant it. And in Judaism, the little girl, she has to plant that sapling when she is 2 or 3 years old. And when she gets married, after say 20 years, that plants which she has planted, sapling, maybe 20 years ago, the flowers and the leaves of that tree is used for decoration of the canopy under which her marriage takes place. But, and that's why I always say that God first created the nature. This is a divine gift of God. And He created man on the last day, on the 6th day. And He said to man, this is the divine gift of God. Please take care of it as a protector. But I'm sorry to say that instead of protector, we became the destroyers of the nature for the sake of progress and development. So it is very important what I learned. I'm going to take this message to Israel, that what I learned in Israel and this place, that how to take care of the, each tree, be a member of that tree, adapt it, look after that tree. And secondly, I would like to say that just now Honorable Baba Jainji said that Daji is Guru. What is the blessing of your life? To find a Guru. But I always say, Daji is not only Guru, he is a Sadguru. What is the meaning of Sadguru and Guru? Guru will show you the path of righteousness, path of peace, how to attain the inner peace. But Daji is a soul which will take us to that path, and he will guide us, and he will make our life successful. So I always say in my prayers that may God grant successful, peaceful and healthiest and long 120 years life to respected Dajiji. It is said in Hebrew, our holy scripture is Torah. Someone asked Rabbi Hillel, can you tell me Torah in one sentence? And Rabbi Hillel said, what is hateful and hurtful to you, do not do to others. If you do not want to appreciate, if you do not want to say the good words, please do not criticize that person. I'm going to tell you a small story. A person, he was in the bad habit of not finding good, virtues in that person. He always used to criticize. This is the nature of the human being. We don't want to see the goodness in others. We want to criticize that person. So he said to Koel is a cuckoo. He said to Koel, you are singing, your chanting is so melodious, but the difficulty with you, your color is black. If you would have not been black in color, it would have been wonderful. Then he says to Rose, you are the king of the flowers, but again you have a problem. You have that deficiency. You have thorns in it. It would have been no thorns, you would have been the most beautiful. Then he said to sea, ocean, your kingdom is so vast, but the problem with you, your water is salty. If your water would have not been salty, it would have been a great. Then what happened? That cuckoo and the flower, the rose and sea said together that person, it would have been better if you had no, habit of cursing others, finding faults with others. So my request to you, if you are not able to appreciate others, do not criticize. It is said in the Lashon Hora in Judaism. And at the end I would like to say that jism means our body. Jism ko to bahut savar chuke ho. We have beautified our body. We go to the beauty parlor. I never knew that even gents go to the beauty parlor to beautify their face. They must look very beautiful. But you must see that beautiful, that is from the inner beauty. That is what Dadiji has been saying, that inner peace, through the inner peace, through the prayer, through the meditation, then comes the concentration, then comes the contemplation, then comes the, that realization. So that is the real one. But what we do, jism ko to bahut savar chuke ho, ab रूह का श्रृंगार कीजिए. Now beautify your soul. जिस्म को तो बहुत सोच चुके हो, अब रूह का श्रृंगार कीजिए. फूल को शाख से मत तोड़िए, उसके खुशबू का आनंद लीजिए. At the end I would say, oh God, you taught us how to fly in the air like a bird. Oh God, you taught us how to swim under the ocean like a fish. But oh God, kindly teach us how to walk on this earth in peace and brotherhood. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Ezekiel. It is truly time for each of us to pray to the Lord to fill our hearts with peace and inner beauty. I would now like to invite Miss Sophia Bentones, who is the Sufi guide of the Aloya. She is representing her father, who is the Sufi guide of the Aloya. She is Vice President of ISA, an NGO of the Path and Words of Peace. The Aloya faith has taken the decision to create bonds with all humanity and to be proactive in embracing especially the youth in order to transmit the culture of peace. We are very happy to listen now to Miss Sophia.
Thank you very much. Excuse me, everybody. Good morning. I'm so sorry because my English is not so good, so I need a translator for this action. I just say to you, you are my sister and friend, and also brothers in humanity. And thank you very much for what you do today, and I hope it repeats this action every day, every year, for everybody all over the world. Thank you very much. Alors, à tous, et d'abord, toute ma gratitude
to all of you, my gratitude
au gouvernement indien,
to Indian government,
à mon ami et frère Daji,
to my friend,
pour cette initiative qui est exceptionnelle. Et que ça se passe en Inde, je suis simplement fière que l'Inde porte ce congrès et fait appel à la spiritualité du monde pour pouvoir travailler et être dans son temps. Aujourd'hui, la spiritualité a besoin de nous tous et le monde.
I am so proud that India is carrying, this brotherhood, this message, to humanity, and to be a part of it is something so great.
Nous y croyons.
We believe in it.
Et nous sommes là pour ça.
And we are here for this.
La spiritualité, c'est beau.
Spirituality is wonderful.
Mais si il n'y a pas la lumière en elle,
but if the light is not there,
elle est vide de sens.
This is empty from meaning.
Donc, on demande à tous
So
et
we're
à
asking
tous
everybody
de réveiller en eux, dans leur tradition, dans leur religion, cette étincelle
to awaken in their heart this light
qui animera, je l'espère, à cet événement d'un monde nouveau.
which will create a new world.
Nous devons croire en nous tous.
We have to believe in ourselves.
Et c'est pour ça que je vous ai ramené un petit peu de graines de spiritualité d'Afrique, de
That's
mon
why I
pays,
brought you from Africa some seeds of spirituality.
que j'espère semer en Inde. Et ce sont les graines d'Algérie.
Some seed from Algeria, and I will seed them in India. Hopefully, they will grow here.
Je suis de cette grande tradition
I am from the great tradition
soufie
Sufism,
de la tariqa. La tariqa, c'est la voix,
the voice of the way,
de la voix alaouia.
Alawiya.
Que Dieu protège cette voix
God bless and protect this
et qu'elle serve
Oui.
l'humanité.
to serve humanity.
Donc, humblement, je vais simplement essayer de vous transmettre ce que mes ancêtres, et notamment le Shir al-Alawi, qui était lui,
I will humbly try to transmit to you what the Sheikh Alawi,
un très grand maître, un très
great
grand
master,
théologien,
theology,
un homme de communication.
a man who communicated.
Il a créé les ponts entre l'Afrique et l'Occident.
He created bridges between West and between Africa
Il a incarné,
and West.
il s'est simplement ouvert, il a ouvert son corps à cette âme qu'il a reçue du ciel et qui a pu se propager jusqu'à aujourd'hui.
He opened himself to that great spirit coming from above and transmitted.
Et comme il le voulait, nous sommes tous, pas que moi, nous sommes tous sa main, sa tête, sa parole, son cœur, ses jambes et tous les membres de ce corps.
Everybody is a part of this, that it is his brain, his mind, his heart, whatever part of the body. We are all a part of it.
J'ai été simplement élevé dans cette dimension universelle. Aujourd'hui, je suis chez moi, ici, chez vous.
I grew up in that dimension, you know, that universal dimension, and here I feel at home.
La terre est notre mère.
The earth is our mother.
Elle est aussi notre tapis de prière.
This is also a carpet for prayer.
Elle est aussi la représentante de toutes les églises et de tous les temples du monde.
It is also the representative of the temple of all religion.
Alors, animons et créons en nos cœurs tout simplement ce désir profond de tolérance, de fraternité et d'échange.
We have to awaken this in our heart, this feeling of tolerance.
Et aujourd'hui, on va prouver qu'un ordre soufi, alaoui, peut se transformer et s'incarner sur Terre en étant un membre agissant. C'est pour ça que je vais vous parler de son ONG, AISA, ONG internationale.
Now I would like to speak about the NGO, AISA.
AISA, ONG internationale, a été créée en 2001.
In 2001.
Voilà. Et elle a eu la chance, c'est d'être reconnue par les Nations Unies
It was recognized by the United Nations
et d'obtenir un statut consultatif spécial
It's receiving a very special approach.
et qui concerne les différents domaines comme l'éthique, la spiritualité,
in ethic and spirituality as a reference.
La culture de paix,
A culture for peace,
la gouvernance et tout ce qui concerne l'égalité des genres et le domaine social. C'est une...
which is related with the governance and also the genre, tu dis?
Ouais. Et tout ça, c'est pour vous dire que cette reconnaissance, on l'a eu aussi. Donc nos maîtres ont reçu, le Shir al-Alawi a reçu de l'UNESCO en 2015 une très très belle récompense, comme quoi il était l'école de la tolérance et de la convivialité interreligieuse. Et c'est pour ça que nous sommes là aujourd'hui.
And we received the prize, you know, as for the tolerance and whatever.
Donc, il faut savoir qu'aujourd'hui les enjeux sont très grands, que le monde est en grande détresse et qu'il faut agir.
Yes, we have to act. The world is really trouble, in distress.
Et tout simplement, Aïssa ONG, par son président d'honneur, qui aujourd'hui est le 44e shir de la Tariqa Alawiya Shedilia Derkawiya.
It's getting complicated. Yes, but it is the 44th, you know, from the line from Muhammad, you know, the 44th one.
Voilà. And il fallait agir. Et il a eu cette idée extraordinaire de fédérer le monde autour d'une seule journée, qui est la journée du 16 mai. C'est la journée du vivre ensemble en paix.
So on the 16th of May, it is the day of the year in which we celebrate the oneness.
Alors vivre ensemble, comme on le dit, on le fait,
To
et
live
c'est très
together,
difficile.
we do it, and I agree, it's difficult.
Mais vivre ensemble en paix, c'est un gros challenge.
But to live together in peace, it's quite a challenge.
C'est pour ça que nous devons investir la paix
That's why we have to bring peace in us,
en nous, d'abord,
inside ourselves.
pour pouvoir ensuite être en paix avec les autres.
Then we could be in peace with the others.
La paix n'est pas l'absence de conflit.
Peace is not absence of conflict.
C'est cet état d'être qui nous anime au quotidien.
It is this feeling which we have daily in our daily life.
C'est pourquoi, pour avoir des sociétés plus équilibrées, où le cœur de la cité vibre dans cet esprit, nous croyons en cette journée internationale du vivre ensemble en paix du 16 mai.
We really believe in these days, and we want to bring it into life.
Vous devez tous vous l'approprier et vous devez, selon vos traditions, selon vos compétences, selon vos domaines, provoquer justement par cet avènement de ce 16 mai, de vous exprimer à travers cette journée. Et cette journée n'est pas qu'une journée, cette journée, idéalement, c'est toute l'année et toute la vie qu'il faut la pratiquer.
We should make it ours, and it's not only actually one day. It's every day, every moment of the day, every moment of our lives.
Il faut juste éveiller nos consciences à cet état.
Awakening our consciousness to that state.
N'oubliez jamais que l'autre est un moyen de savoir qui vous êtes.
Remember that the other one is also there to make you understand who you are.
Donc, j'invite le gouvernement indien à oser porter et devenir ambassadeur du 16 mai. Et nous l'invitons. On a une chance exceptionnelle. Cette année, Aïssa ONG est accueillie en ces lieux à Genève, aux Nations Unies, pour pouvoir justement discuter d'un sujet qui anime le cœur de Aïssa ONG, qui est la transmission et l'éducation à la culture de paix.
So I officially invite the Indian government to come to Geneva and to participate to this event.
Donc les Nations Unies sont ouvertes à vous recevoir, vous, peuple indien.
In Geneva, are waiting for you.
Voilà, et un grand merci pour tout ce que vous faites et il faut juste simplement y croire.
We have to believe. That's all we have to do. We have to believe in it.
Pour moi, ces instants sont historiques.
This moment
J'espère
is historical for me.
de tout mon cœur qu'un jour rayonnera, et depuis l'Inde,
From the
cette
bottom of my
fraternité.
heart, I wish that this is going to shine, from India to all over the world.
N'oubliez jamais qu'il y a toujours un exemple et que l'Inde doit être cet exemple.
There is always someone, some example showing, and India is the example.
Nous croyons en vous. Merci.
Thank you.
Merci.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sophia, and thank you so much for the invitation for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard wise words from all our respected speakers on the dais. It is now up to each one of us to carry back whatever we could, whatever we imbibe and absorb within. We now come to the end of this plenary session, and it is now time to felicitate our respected speakers, for which I invite our members from the Heartfulness organization to conduct the felicitation. I invite Sister Ekta and Sister Meena to please come and felicitate Dr. Roland McCretty from the Heart Math Institute. Let us give a huge round of applause for all our respected speakers. I now invite Sister Veronique and Sister Ananya to please felicitate Dr. Joseph Howell. Sister Sylvie and Sister Ranjal to please felicitate Miss Nilakshi Rajkova. I now invite Brother Trilochan and Sister Arshia to please come and felicitate Rabbi Ezekiel Isaac Malikar. I now request Brother Srinivasan and Brother Harpreet to please come and felicitate Miss Sophia Bentowns. We once again thank all the respected speakers for this plenary session for sharing their wisdom with us. I would now like to invite Dr. Devavallabh Swamiji from the Swami Narayan Sampradaya, Secretary of Swami Narayan Gurukul Sangh Gujarat, to share a few words from this dais on his experience of heartfulness at the Global Spirituality Mahotsav. Dr. Devavallabh Swamiji. Respected speakers to please gather together for a group photograph as a memory from this plenary session. We request Dr. Devavallabh Swamiji to please share his experience of heartfulness at this event.
इस ग्लोबल स्पिरिचुअल महोत्सव का सब आयोजक और आप उपस्थित सब भक्तगण जिज्ञासु साधकों को मैं हार्दिक अभिवंदन करता हूँ, वंदन करता हूँ। मैं कई साल के पहले आया था यहाँ, सब देखा था, ऐसा हुआ कि यही अपना असली घर है। तो इस महोत्सव में आया, मैंने निकट से महसूस किया कि दादी हमारे सबके जो प्रिय है, वो इतना हम्बल नंबर विजनरी मैन है, आप सब ने अनुभव किया है। शास्त्रों में लिखा है, नायम आत्मा प्रवचन न लभ्यो न मेधया बहुना श्रुतया। जो आत्म तत्व है वो प्रवचनों से नहीं पाया जाता है, क्योंकि वो मन वाणी से पर होता है। तो यहां आपने उसका नोट किया हो या न किया हो तो कर लेना, यहां सुबह सांझ कहीं प्रवचन की बात ही नहीं होती है। दूसरे महोत्सव में आप जाएंगे, धर्म स्थानों में जाएंगे तो आपको एक बात दिखेगी कि वहां प्रवचन ही चलते रहते हैं। यहां कुछ प्रवचन है प्रैक्टिकल ध्यान, और ध्यान करने से उसका आत्मा का चेंज होता है। मैंने किया है, दादी के साथ मैं भी पहले बैठा था, देखा जैसे कि गुड़ की बात करने से किसी को पता नहीं चलता कि गुड़ का स्वाद कैसा होता है, लेकिन जब गुड़ खाता है ना तो उसको पता चलता है कि गुड़ कैसा है। ऐसे दादी कुछ बात नहीं करते, बता देते हैं। हमारे शास्त्रों में लिखा है कि परमात्मा कभी किसी को कुछ कहने या लेने या देने से नहीं आते, लेकिन अपने बंदों, अपने ऐसे महापुरुषों को भेज देते हैं जो समाज का उत्थान करते हैं। तो दादी भी ऐसे एक महापुरुष है। मैं भगवान को हार्टली प्रार्थना करूं, शतम जीवे श्रद्धा। दादी के द्वारा ये पहली शुरुआत है। हमने बहुत महोत्सव देखे हैं, सुने हैं, लेकिन एक मंच पे सभी धर्माचार्यों के एकत्र करना और सारे विश्व के लिए शुभकामनाएं करना, सपोज इज ए फर्स्ट इंसिडेंट, यह पहला शुरुआत है और आगे चलेगा। यहां 3-4 दिन से मैं सुन रहा हूं, बड़े बड़े मंडलेश्वरों, महात्मा लोगों ने अपना जो चिंतन था उसकी अभिव्यक्ति किया। उसमें एक बार आपने नोंदा कि पीस के लिए अपने आप से शुरुआत करना है। ये शास्त्र, ये सदगुरु अपन को राह बताते हैं, दे शो ए वे बट कैन नॉट वॉक ऑन इट, वी हैव टू वॉक ऑन। तो यहां आए हैं आप सब, तो आज से शुरुआत करना। यहां की गिनरी, नेचर इज नेक्स्ट टू गॉड ऐसा कहा जाता है। तो यहाँ आपको जैसे स्वर्ग में, स्वर्ग तो हमने नहीं देखा है, शास्त्रों में पढ़ा है कि ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है, लेकिन यहाँ आपको स्वर्ग की अनुभूति हुई है, वो हमें तो हुई है, क्योंकि यहाँ हर एक वॉलंटियर, हर एक साधक के चेहरे पे मुस्कान दिखती है। आपने देखा कोई स्ट्रेस में नहीं है, सब आनंद में, खुशी में है। तो ये जो महोत्सव है उसकी सफलता इच्छता हूं, और हम साथ सब मिलकर, क्योंकि हमारे वहां प्राचीन नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ये अमृत काल बहुत इस दिशा में काम कर रहा है, इसीलिए कि हमारे पास इतना समृद्ध वारसा है, लेकिन हमें उसका पता नहीं है। जैसे कि कहा जाता है कि कस्तूरी मृग की नाभि में कस्तूरी होती है, लेकिन उसका पता नहीं है, तो उनकी सुगंध के लिए वन वन में भटक भटक के थक जाता है। लेकिन हमारे यहाँ वेद, उपनिषदों, शास्त्रों, सभी संप्रदाय का सम्मान होता है, सभी महापुरुषों ने बहुत बढ़िया बातें बताई है, तो समृद्ध वारसा है, तो हम उसको उजागर करें, उसको पहचाने। और हम ही सिर्फ नहीं, हमारा आदर्श है सर्वे सुखिनः भवन्तु, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु। ये हमारा उपनिषदों का आदर्श है, वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम, और सब सुखी हो। तो उसमें दादी ने लीडरशिप किया है। एक बात समझ लो, हम सबको उन्हें तन मन धन से सपोर्ट करने का है। जैसे कि भगवान कृष्ण ने गोवर्धन उठाया था ना, तो सब गोप बालकों ने अपनी अपनी लाठी टिकवाया था। ऐसे हम सबको सहयोग देना है। बहुत अच्छा काम है, ध्यान के प्रैक्टिकल सेशन होते हैं, और आप भी एक बार उसका स्वाद चख जाते हैं ना, तो फिर नहीं छोड़ेंगे। तो सब महात्मा लोगों ने यही बात बताई, और इंडियन कल्चरल मिनिस्ट्री और ये हार्टफुलनेस ने ये जो प्रोग्राम का आयोजन किया है और सक्सेसफुली किया है, उस सबको मैं खूब खूब धन्यवाद देता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ। यहाँ का एक बात मुझे बहुत जची है, उसको याद रखने का। किसी भी वक्ता ने उसकी ओर आपका ध्यान डाइवर्ट नहीं किया है, वो है सफाई। इंस्टीट्यूट का 3-4 अनमोल चीज है, जैसे कि एक सफाई का काम होता है। हम पानी गिलास में अच्छा पानी भरना चाहेंगे तो पहले गिलास को वॉश करना पड़ेगा, साफ करना पड़ेगा ना, नहीं तो पानी बिगड़ जाएगा। तो सफाई का काम होता है, वो बहुत बढ़िया है। उसके बारे में सोचे, समझे और सीखे। यहाँ के वो जो टीचर्स है वो आपको अच्छी तरह से बताएगा। बुक में भी लिखा है सफाई की बहुत आज के समय में जरूरियात है, क्योंकि आज का हमें टेंशन है, पढ़ता है तो पढ़ाई में टेंशन, अच्छी टकावारी लाने का, जब पढ़ाई पूरी होती तो जॉब का टेंशन, फैमिली का टेंशन, टेंशन ही टेंशन है। उससे छुटकारे का उपाय ये है सफाई का कार्यक्रम, बाद में मेडिटेशन, प्रेयर, सब अच्छे अच्छे फैक्टर है। तो हमें इस अवसर पे जो आप सबको हमारा जो विचारधारा थी, हमारा जो अभिव्यक्ति है, उसको प्रेजेंट करने का जो मौका दिया है, मैं आप सबको इसीलिए खूब खूब आभार मानता हूं। अस्तु, धन्यवाद। जय स्वामीनारायण, जय भारत माता।
धन्यवाद Dr. Dev Vallabh Swami ji. Now I invite Dashwinder and Manjunath to felicitate Swami ji.
The Global Spirituality Mahotsav has been a true coming together of people from various faiths and organizations on one platform. It is music that unites one and all. And what we will witness now is a beautiful musical performance by Vivek from the Heartfulness Institute and Paul, who will be playing the sarod, representing the transcendental meditation. So let us now see how the notes of music come together with the notes of the heart from Vivek and Paul from Heartfulness and Transcendental Meditation. So let us put our hands together to welcome these two young musicians who will perform for us at the close of the Global Spirituality Mahotsav.
Tanpura is good. Just checking the tabla part. Again, okay. Good. Good morning to one and all present here. We offer our gratefulness to the Cultural Ministry, to the Heartfulness organization, and the entire ecosystem of spirituality present here at Kanha Shanti Vanam for the Global Spiritual Mahotsav 2024. We are today going to perform one bhajan and ending it with a rag Bhairavi, which is a rag in Indian classical music which states a successful completion of a conference or a mahotsav. So here we are presenting. On sarod, we have Paul from Ireland, and he's a practitioner of transcendental meditation. And I am Vivek from Rajasthan, practicing heartfulness. So here we are presenting a bhajan. Thank you. देख के पिंजरे में पंछी तू काहे मुस्काए, देख के पिंजरे में पंछी तू काहे घबराए। हम सब हैं इस जग में कैदी, ये तू समझ नहीं पाए। देख के पिंजरे में पंछी तू काहे घबराए, देख के पिंजरे में पंछी तू काहे मुस्काए। हम सब हैं इस जग में कैदी, ये तू समझ नहीं पाए। नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी, नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी। जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी, नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी। जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी, नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी। निराकार कोई कहता है कोई कुछ कुछ रूप बताए, निराकार कोई कहता है कोई कुछ कुछ रूप बताए। कोई कहे वह भेष बदल कर धरती पर आ जाए, कोई कहे वह भेष बदल कर धरती पर आ जाए। कोई कहे वह कण कण में है, कोई कहे वह कण कण में है पर वो नजर ना आए। वो अनदेखी एक पहेली क्या सुलझाई जाए। नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी, नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी। जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए, जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी। नीली छत के पीछे बैठ जाने कौन मदारी। सुनते हैं उनकी आंखें हैं सूरज चांद सितारे। कब कब हम करते हैं क्या क्या पल पल हमें निहारे। सुनते हैं उनकी आंखें सूरज चांद सितारे। कब कब हम करते हैं क्या क्या पल पल हमें निहारे। मछली को क्या लेना है, मछली को क्या लेना है, उछले सागर के धारे, उस शक्ति की भक्ति कर ले ओ बंदे मत वाले। नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मलारी, नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मलारी। जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी, नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मलारी। कहते हैं जिसने बनाया धरती गगन समंदर, और सबको जो नाच नचाए है एक छुपा कलंदर। कहते हैं जिसने बनाया धरती गगन समंदर, और सबको जो नाच नचाए है एक छिपा कलंदर। वो मालिक छुप कर बैठा है, मालिक छुप कर बैठा है हर इंसान के अंदर। प्रेम भाव से सबसे मिलना इस दुनिया में सिकंदर, प्रेम भाव से सबसे मिलना इस दुनिया में सिकंदर। नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मरा, जैसे जैसे नाच नचाए नाचे दुनिया सारी। नीली छत के पीछे बैठा जाने कौन मदारी, 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 जाने कौन मदारी। Thank you very much. We are just going to conclude it with 2 lines. In the Rag Bhairavi. I'm sure we are all familiar with this next rendition coming up. मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा। यहाँ पे हम सभी लोग अलग अलग सुरों के साथ एक माला में उन सुरों को पिरोने आए हैं। So here we are with the Rag Bhairavi, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा।
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, तो सुर बने हमारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, तो सुर बने हमारा। सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से, सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से बह के सागर में मिले, बादलों का रूप लेके बरसे हल्के हल्के, ओ मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, तो सुर बने हमारा, तो सुर बने हमारा, तो सुर बने Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vivek, and thank you, Paul. It has been truly a wonderful and remarkable performance. It has succinctly concluded this whole vibration that each of us is feeling in our hearts. And it is now time for the Global Spirituality Mahotsav to come to a close. A historic moment, a historic time, which we have all been witness to and which will reverberate in our hearts for eternity. I would now like to invite Brother V. Srinivasan from the Heartfulness Institute to please come forward and propose the vote of thanks. Brother Manjunath and Sister Anchal to please felicitate Vivek and Paul for their wonderful musical performance.
Afternoon, sisters and brothers, as we veer to the end or conclusion of this really landmark and joyous celebration, it's time to extend a really heartfelt vote of thanks to so many people who have been behind, working tirelessly towards making this event a success. At the very first, our deepest gratitude to the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, who have been at the forefront of supporting this event, giving us their valuable guidance with their resources, with their expertise, technical support, and in so many other ways towards enabling this event to be hosted at Kanha Shanti Vanam. So please, let's give a big round of applause to Ministry of Culture. We also thank and are indebted to all the core committee, all the organizations who are part of the core committee of this celebration. We also thank the various supporting organizations who have been associated closely with the core committee and the working team towards making this event a great success. It would be really words fall short, but we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the residents of Kanha Shanti Vanam, volunteers and staff who have very, very generously, open-heartedly made themselves available to support this event. May I request all of us to please give them a very big applause. Over the last 30 days since this event, after this event was formally announced, I think the entire Kanha Shanti Vanam management team, residents have all come together to give support and make this event a great success. Lastly, and most importantly, two things. Such an event would not have been possible to host, to convene, without the guiding love and inspiration of Pujya Daji. Let us all, from the bottom of our hearts, convey our deepest gratitude, and let's give a very big applause for Daji's inspiring force. A year back when we were in Delhi, Pujya Daji had discussed and proposed the possibility of Kanha Shanti Vanam hosting the event to the ministry, and he has been, supporting, guiding us through this entire journey, and today we are here having this event. And of course, an event of this size, scale, and magnitude, and the kind of participation as was being said today morning, we had invitations sent to over 500 plus spiritual, religious and faith organizations globally. We had almost about 300 plus organizations responding back, and many of them have participated either through their physical attendance and participation. Some of them have set up stalls, some have contributed towards the different experiential activities here, and above all, the participation has really been overwhelming. So we really understand that this event has been accomplished in very short time. 30 days for an event with over 50,000 participants means that there has been great support and help to us from the very divine. And I think from the bottom of our hearts at Kanha Shanti Vanam, let us all prayerfully acknowledge this, and we thank the divine for being behind this very ennobling cause. So with this, we come to the conclusion of this event. We thank on behalf of the organizing committee, we thank all of you since morning who have come here, who have been part of these proceedings, who have encouraged all our speakers through the course of their sessions. I hope it has been all very enriching, and we wish you all the very best and look forward to your participation in the next series of events which will unfold here on through the Global Spirituality Mahotsav. So thank you once again, and you may all join for lunch after this at the dining hall. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome to the second session, Spirituality in Daily Life. For this session, our esteemed spiritual gurus shall be joining. May I call upon Mrs. Uma Nanduriji, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Culture. I take the huge pleasure to welcome Bhavani Raoji from Mata Amritanandamayi Institute and Shri Sadhvi Shilapi Ji Maharaj Ji, Virayatan. I also take the pleasure and honor to invite Pujya Bhai Shri Ramesh Bhai Oja Ji from Rajchandra Mission. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. We also welcome for the next panel Shri Yogi Niranjan Nath Ji, Sant Dhyaneshwar Maharaj Sansthan. Take the pleasure to welcome Dr. Jayanti Ravi Ji from Auroville Foundation. We also welcome Master Ji Shri Rajesh Kumar from Good Home Journey. Also, let me take the pleasure to welcome Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, KC, from Commonwealth Secretary General. And a kind request to our esteemed spiritual leaders to restrict your address to 5 minutes as we are running short of schedule. Let's all put our hands together and welcome our esteemed panel for the plenary session, Spirituality in Daily Life. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request Mrs. Uma Nanduri Ji from Ministry of Culture, Joint Secretary, to give the opening remarks.
నమస్కార్. హైదరాబాద్లో ఈరోజు జరుగుతున్నటువంటి మహోత్సవానికి అందరికీ స్వాగతం సుస్వాగతం. నాకు తెలుసు అందరికీ ఆకలేస్తుంది కానీ కాసేపు వెయిట్ చేయండి. ఓన్లీ ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఆల్ ది స్పీకర్స్ విల్ నాట్ టేక్ మోర్ దెన్ 5 minutes each. This is my promise to you, and only इसमें I have to tell you only 3 things. Spirituality in daily life. या क्लैप जो है वही क्लैप दीजिए एक बार जोरदार. डेली लाइफ का स्पिरिचुअलिटी है. हम यहाँ पर कोई भाषण नहीं दे रहे हैं. एक तो पहला चीज है एक बच्चा. When a child is there for a child, mother is everything. She or he surrenders himself completely to the mother. That is a spirituality. When a youth is filled with energy, that energy translated into a positive energy, it is a spirituality. A mother who cooks food, what she does, my mother, I tell you example of my mother. My mother, he continuously used to chant something while cooking the food. With all that chanting, the positive energy goes into the food. That is a spirituality. A father takes the whole responsibility of the house and that is also the spirituality. And in the office, we are all working with Sthita Prajnata. That is the spirituality. So every walk of the life, we have the spirituality. All the leaders, esteemed guests, I thank them all. Here the panel is full, is maximum majority women are there. So all the women, this is a sincere request, you follow the spirituality in your life, whatever way you can. And with this, I just want to say one Shanti mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyet dukh bhavayet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. May I welcome Pujya Bhai Shri Ramesh Bhai Ji onto the stage. And I also welcome Shri Yogi Niranjan Nath Ji and Dr. Jayanti Ravi Ji to kindly join us on stage. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Bhavani Rao Ji, Dean, School of Social and Behavioral Sciences at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. She is also the director of 2 research centers, and she has been designated as India's only UNESCO chair in gender equality and women's empowerment. Dr. Bhavani Rao Ji's address, please.
Om Amriteshwarya Namaha. Very good afternoon to everyone, respected Daji and the members of this wonderful organization, representatives of the various traditional spiritual lineages who are here, the key representatives of the Ministry of Culture, Uma ma'am over here, and all the dignitaries on stage, off stage. My humble namaskarams to all of you, also to my dear sisters who are sitting here in the audience. Do I have 5 minutes, ma'am, or 10 minutes, ma'am? 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to cut everything down to 5 minutes. So the topic is spirituality and life. Now, I think everybody here has a pretty good understanding of what spirituality is, and definitely we all have some understanding of what life is. And what ma'am said just before, the spirituality and life are actually inseparable. They form the same thing. As Amma says, they're 2 sides of the same coin. And Amma herself, I'm Amma's representative over here speaking as a part of Amrita University. She's a wonderful example of how you can actually integrate spirituality and life. She embraces everyone, irrespective of their caste, their creed, their color, their economic status, their educational status. And to a great extent, that forms the inspiration for me to understanding how best to blend spirituality and life. And not just that she embraces everybody, but almost everything has that infusion of spirituality, whether it's the educational institutions, the humanitarian operations and activities, environmental protection, science and research, everything has an element of spirituality. Amma says that spirituality begins and ends with compassion. And Sanatana Dharma, we know that creation and creator are not 2 but 1. And the creation is verily the manifest form of the creator. And therefore, we must love and serve all by seeing the creator in all of creation. And to not serve others and to serve oneself, Amma says, is not life, but it's death. And therefore, for us to have this love and compassion, like I said, compassion is the beginning of spirituality, is the quintessential way forward to integrating spirituality into life. And how do we do that? I can share with you the example that we have at Amrita. So Amrita as a university is built on 2 fundamental principles. One is that we have compassion-based research, and we have two kinds of education, education for a living and education for life. Now you may ask what this difference is. Education for a living is the kind of education that earns you your bread and butter, puts a roof over your head, good clothes on your body, your vehicle to drive. And education for life is compassion, love, kindness, and all the other things that actually will help you lead a better life. It is spirituality in life. Amma also says that there are 2 kinds of poverty. One is the lack of food, clothing, and shelter, and the second kind of poverty is the lack of love and compassion. But she says if you address the second kind of poverty first, you automatically deal with the first kind of poverty, because if you do have love and compassion, then you will serve those who do not have food, clothing, and shelter. And that is why the education at Amrita has this 2-fold approach to education, both for living and for life. And within the education for life, in its core, are the values of compassion. Now, how do we implement it? We have a very unique program at Amrita called Live-in Labs. And what does that do? All faculty and students at Amrita are mandated to spend time in villages across India, working with the people in the villages, co-designing problem interventions to their problems. Now, what does this do? One, we do have wonderful interventions that come. This is the compassion-based research. Like, so for example, chemical engineering students will get together with the ECE students. They build this wonderful solar distillation unit for villagers who had lemongrass growing wild so that they could distill the lemongrass and create lemongrass oil. That becomes their income for them. So it's a very nice way of improving the economic vitality of that village by using the natural resource of the village. But what does it do for the students? One, gratitude. They see how villagers live with such little resources and how they still manage to be happy. With that comes a very important lesson. Happiness is a decision, Amma says. Whether you laugh or cry, time will pass and your life will pass. You might as well be happy instead of being sad. The very important values of gratitude. Second is respect. You find that people in villages can be very strong. I mean, women in villages are much stronger than I am. They can stand for longer hours. They work in the sun. They have much better mental resilience than I am. So they're much, much stronger. So you also learn to respect people. And definitely, it develops within you empathy and compassion. So these are the kind of values, these are the kind of education for life that we're able to bring into the students at Amrita through this program called Live in Labs. Now, I can just put it all into a sutra form from our traditions. The Lalita Sahasranama, Shloka 659, talks about Devi and extols her as Om, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Swarupiniye Namaha. What does that mean? Ichha Shakti, the power behind motivation. What makes us act? What is it that is at the depth of our intention? Now, this intention, this Ichha Shakti has to be driven by compassion. What motivates us must be compassion. An example from Amma's life. Like when she was very young, she was born into a fisher community. Now, in the fishing community, girls are not supposed to touch boats that go into the sea. It is considered taboo. It's against the social, religious culture of that particular group and community. Now, one day what Amma found was an old lady who was sitting, she couldn't get across to her family to make food because the boatmen had gone for lunch. And she was crying at the edge saying that, what am I going to do? I won't be able to go across and make food. So Amma was moved by compassion. She picked up the little boat over there that you use a long pole to move across. She's never done it before. She said, I'll take you across. You come. So she takes the grandma and rows the boat across the backwaters. And seeing this, there's crowd on both sides. And everybody is petrified because Amma is taking this little girl, is rowing a big boat across the backwaters. And of course, the line boat passes by and there are waves and everybody is so worried. But she manages to get it across. And as soon as she gets the boat across from both sides, there is a thunderous applause. And she gets a nice beating from her mom for taking the government boat and doing things that she was not. But she was motivated by compassion. She was not motivated by rebellion. She was not motivated by activism. She was not trying to right a social justice. She was motivated by compassion. Compassion makes the essence of all our actions correct. The second is Jnana Shakti, knowledge. What kind of knowledge are we talking about? Two kinds of knowledge. One is scientific knowledge, hardcore facts, scientific facts, data. We know how important data is in our life. Scientific facts. The second kind of knowledge comes from compassion. It's that empathetic knowledge of understanding what the needs of people are. What the need of the other is to understand a situation below the surface through compassion and through empathy. An example of that, when the tsunami struck our ashram, over 1 lakh of people in that strip were dislocated. Their homes were washed away, their livelihoods were destroyed. They were all waist to neck deep in water, swimming across for safety. We evacuated 25,000 people during that tsunami time. 2004 tsunami, exactly 20 years ago. First thing that Amma did was made sure there was hot chai available for everybody who was moved. Why hot chai? It's one of the first things that you give that gives you some sense of comfort, some sense of grounding yourself. Second is she made sure that the food that was prepared tasted like fish. Why? Because they were fishing people. They were used to eating fish. Now, we are an ashram, we don't cook fish, but we made sure that the food matched the tastes of the local people. This is an empathetic understanding of what the needs are. She made sure that they all got glasses because they lost their glasses. Again, we know that people, now from science, we know that people who actually lose their vision or who have lowered vision in the time of disasters actually face a larger trauma than those with perfect vision. So small acts, micro acts of kindness, fueled by the knowledge that comes from an empathetic understanding of others. I said Jnana Shakti, two kinds of knowledge. Third is Kriya Shakti, the power of action. And the power of action should be altruistic, like Madam said, right? You have to have Nishkama Karma from the Bhagavad Gita. What? You do not expect the results of your actions. This is super critical to have. Make sure that you have the energy to continue your action, to make sure that your action is not tainted by the wrong kind of motivation. For compassion has no other motivation than its own. I hear a bell. Okay. And then the other kind of action is that it should have Shraddha, awareness. It should have resource efficiency, no wastefulness, and it should be respectful. It should be respectful of the other. And here I will tell you another story of Amma, really quick. Amma says that when you go to swim in a river or in the backwaters, the first thing that you will feel when you are in the water is the urge to pee. But the river is Devi, and Amma always remembers that her mother told her, Damayanti Amma told her that the river was the goddess. And if you remember that the river is a goddess and is Devi, automatically you will have the self-control not to pee. The respect and the reverence to see everything as divine will give you the self-control that you need to make sure that your actions are respectful, your actions do not pollute, your actions do not perpetuate any kind of inequalities, any kind of oppression. So it is, in its sense, the most fundamental value that you can define within Sanatana Dharma, this value of respect and reverence. So with that, I come a full circle, and thank you so much for your attention. Om Amriteshwarya Namaha.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bhavani Raoji. I now take the pleasure to welcome Pujya Sadhviji, Shri Shilapi Maharaj from Virayatan, a leading NGO in India, who has traveled around the world giving inspirational discourses and talks to spread Tirthankar Mahavir's messages to tens of thousands of people, both young and old. Ladies and gentlemen, Sadhvi Shilapi Ji Maharaj.
Mangalam Omkara Mangalam Veer Mangalam Mahavir Mangalam Om Mangalam Omkara Mangalam. First of all, my pranam to my revered Guru, Padma Shri Pujya Acharya Shri Chandana Ji, who is not present here today, but she has sent her deepest love and blessings for all of you, and warm wishes, very warm wishes for the success of this amazing, amazing program. My special salutation to Revered Shri Daji Ji and salutation to all venerable faith leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start talking about the subject given to me, I would like to share one of my experiences with you. One fine morning I was meditating, I felt that God was talking to me personally. And I said to the Almighty, God, you often talk about heaven. Heaven is so beautiful, and people in heaven are so amazing, so beautiful. Is there any place on the earth where we can find wonderful people like they are in heaven. And you know what God said? He said to me, from March 14 to 17th, go to Global Spiritual Mahotsav at Kanha Shanti Vanam, the world headquarters of Heartfulness. You will find my people there, wonderful, amazing, extraordinary people. My warmest greetings to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome you all at this divine assembly. I am thrilled to see that thousands of passionate people are working together to make this world a better place. You all are working hard to create a world of non-violence, peace and compassion. And I'm sure these efforts will not be in vain. Together, we will be able to make humanity understand the only way to live in this world is to let live. Without compassion, without peace, we live not in the cosmos, but in chaos. My brothers and sisters, we all agree that we are going through very challenging and very hard times. Every single day we hear horrifying news of rape, murder, war, and terrorism. But we make it worse by continuously listening and talking about it. And sometimes our media also makes the scenario even shorter by exaggerating and publishing ongoing negative stories. Psychologists say that what you continuously watch, think, and hear, we become. By constantly viewing and thinking about hate, violence, and war, it seems that our subconscious has become agitated and negative. Therefore, despite tremendous development and opulence in this world, there is no peace within us. 300 years ago, after the industrial and scientific revolutions, we thought that with so many modern comforts, we would be able to solve all our problems. But surprisingly, nothing has changed. 300 years ago, a man would cry sitting under a tree. Today, a man cries sitting in an air-conditioned room. Only the surroundings have changed. Unfortunately, the crying is the same. My friends, in order to bring spirituality in our daily lives, in addition to our daily routines, it is very important to watch what we hear, what we talk, what we see, and what we read. This will directly impact our spiritual development in our daily lives. My friends, peace is an attribute of our individuals. Peace is an attribute of inner world. Unless individuals become peaceful, no peace can be brought onto this planet. When we engender animosity, hate, evil, and anger, we are the first victims of our anger and hatred. And when the anger is generated within ourselves, then we start harming others. So if we wish to envision a peaceful world, this initiative should begin from within us as individuals. We all have signed up this conference. We came to this Global Spirituality Mahotsav because we believe that if we all work together, hate, violence, and war can be combated and peace can be brought into this world. So today, we all participants present here take an oath that from now on, we will not commit any violence, nor listen to or propagate any kind of violent act or endorse any kind of violent activity. At my workplace, at my home, I will handle any situation, any conflict or adverse scenario peacefully because I want to eradicate hate, conflict, unrest from this planet. In order to achieve this, I want to take the first initiative of peace in my life, in my family, in my workplace, and my community. With this commitment of non-violence and peace in our lives, when we go home on the 17th, people should be surprised to see us. Wow, you are transformed. You look so peaceful. You handle every challenge so gracefully. And where did you get this? And all of us can proudly say, because I attended the Global Spirituality Mahotsav which is trying to bring a world of peace, love, and compassion on this planet. I'm part of this declaration and trying to do my bit by changing my behavior. Friends, I'm very confident that with these startups and initiatives of individuals, we can transform the world. There is no other way. Small slides lead to broken families, and injustices at a micro level get converted into big wars. So these small initiatives from individuals are a way forward to realizing the big dream of world peace. Normally people say, I never do anything wrong. I live my life peacefully. I go to work every morning, come back in the evening, spend time with my kids, watch TV, go to the gym. What's wrong with that? What do I do to make this world a violent place? But I'm saying, my friends, that not doing wrong is not enough. Actively doing good is also required to make this world peaceful and compassionate. Outer growth, outer achievements, materialistic advancement seem to be the only mechanism to measure somebody's success. So if in addition to the IQ test, we had a compassionate aptitude test to measure someone's growth and capability, we would have an absolutely very different human race on this planet. My brothers and sisters, we have fought enough in the name of religion, nation, color, race, and gender. But now is the time to set aside all these outer differences and join hands to make this world a beautiful place full of love and compassion. We may belong to different communities or different religions, but the blood flowing in our veins is the same. Our anger is same, our hatred is the same, so our love has to be the same. If there is God in the world, it has to be one God. If there is a heaven in the universe, it has to be one heaven. There cannot be Muslim heaven, Hindu heaven, Christian, Buddhist, or Jain heaven. Friends, the power of negative people is not that great. But if good people are not active, the bad certainly will be, and their actions will cause society to suffer. Therefore, good people have